It's running, but that's not what I'm talking about. Coaches, athletes, and reporters talk about endurance in relation to dry spells, slumps, poor performances, etc. What I'm talking about is this type of endurance. Pushing through setbacks, hardship training, and finding at the end of all that, a resolve to commit to something, even if that something hasn't been so good to you in a while. In sports, you will have a season where you just don't perform to the best of your abilities, and you still win. Your teammate can pick up the slack you've left, and the rest of the team can push you through the bad to get to the good. Track and field is a different type of sport, though. Celebrating all kinds of skills and disciplines, track is diverse in events, and you rarely can depend on anyone other than yourself to get you through the hardship. You are the master of your fate in a lot of ways, namely enduring the hardships. The athletes before you today endured more than most of the other teams they faced this year. Though we do have many fields, we are clearly lacking a track. And though this might seem like a larger team by Plumstead standards, we were clearly the smallest team in the BAL. At districts, for example, an official was asking me about our schools and the class size, etc., and he asked how big our team is. Since I'm a teacher, I felt a model would be helpful to demonstrate our size. So I pointed to the two of our female throwers and I said, you see them? That's a quarter of our team. Each event also comes with opportunity to endure. It sounds cliche, but it is true to say your greatest opponent in life is often yourself. Track embraces that idea. It can be incredibly frustrating to keep seeing the same numbers on the clock or see the same distances at every throw or jump. Even after hours, days, months, or even years of training, you don't see the improvement that should be there. You go to a meet and hope for success only to have failure hit you. But not to be cliche again, that's life. These athletes before you endured lack of facilities, lack of warmth, lack of numbers, and lack of time in what was a very busy year for them. With the majority of this team being juniors, this team competed and trained amidst SATs, APs, concerts, promposals, and on and on. There were days where I couldn't believe some of these kids even slept, and I'm not convinced they even did. But like the athletes that these young men and women are, they competed through the slumps to find success. This year we started an indoor track season during the winter to help us compete with other schools in the area and to give more opportunities to compete. That started in November. We also created what can only be described as the bad news bears of weight rooms on the stage behind me. In a year fresh off of losing a core group of senior men, the PCS track and field team broke 3 event records. The women's discus record was broken 5 times this year, and the women's triple jump record broke more times than I could keep track of after having stood for 19 years. That record was 19 years old. We also finally competed in every track event this year, including pole vault. So that was good. And most notably, this was the first year in the history of PCS track and fields where an athlete was BAL champion and district champion, allowing her to compete at Plumstead's first ever track and field state championship. Now I'd like to recognize a few individuals with formal awards, starting with the women and then moving on to the men. First I'll announce the MVP for the women, and then I'll move to the men. So for MVP, there are again this year 2 candidates. Really with only 8 people, all of them are quite valuable. That is the case, or else we wouldn't have a team. These 2 women, though, offered up immense amounts of their time to coach athletes, organize practices, lead drills, and one of them even designed our dope new warm-ups. Mary Robinson, aside from having a promising career in fashion design, is a competitor on the track and in the field. She has competed in almost every event, from sprints to middle distance to triple jump, hurdles, 4x1, and even pole vault. Mary is a workhorse for our team. Though she missed district qualification in the 100-meter hurdles literally by 0.01 seconds, and nearly made it in the 300-meter hurdles. She settled with an awesome 5th place finish in triple jump at her first district meet ever, with a new school record in that event too. Through busted up knees and cold and rainy meets, Mary kept a positive attitude and both literally and figuratively got up and finished every race to end one memorable season. She taught drills to those needing assistance and tried to bring everyone new and old into the team. Smile, Mary, because you have a lot to be proud of.